March 98 won 2-1 by Brazil, who have never lost to tonight. Comes into midfield in preference to Ryan Christie. There are a couple of attacking changes too, with starts for both Ben Gannon-Doak out wide and Lawrence Shankland through the middle. John McGinn scored the winner against Haiti and is key to their success on field, as is Scott McTominay. Kenny McLean comes into midfield in preference to Ryan Christie. There are a couple of attacking changes too, with starts for both Ben Gannon-Doak out wide and Lawrence Shankland through the middle. John McGinn scored the winner against ring injury. He's only the sixth teenager to start for Brazil in the World Cup, the third in 1970. Vinicius Jr. has scored in each of the opening two matches. Mateus Cunha scored twice last time out against Haiti. Marquinhos has captained PSG to Champions League success in each of the last two seasons and lead Brazil now. Next year at the start of the tournament, he is on the bench. After all the build-up, and what a build-up it's been, particularly down on Miami Beach and Ocean Drive. What a job Steve Clarke has done as the head coach of Scotland. A third major finals in 7 years for him in charge. And what a big game this evening.
Yeah, huge, isn't it? I mean, yeah, the atmosphere has been slowly building up to this game. We've seen Scotland all over the country, how they've gathered, how they've created such a great atmosphere, great vibe. And today is going to be no different. Brazil as well, the expectation within the stands are very contrasting.
Away we go in Miami, and it's Scotland who get the match started, and Angus Gunn sending it forward towards Ben Gannon-Doak. What an opportunity for him coming into the team today. Certainly looked lively in the minutes we've seen him on the field so far. Talking of lively, here's Vinicius Jr. How Scotland deal with him could be key to their success or otherwise tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, he's going to be someone that obviously is going to cause all sorts of problems down this left-hand side for Brazil. Scotland, Patterson, he's got his work cut ahead of him. To really tough, and Jack Henry's going to try and come across and help out as much as he can as well, without being drawn too far away from the centre. So you don't want 2.5 too far apart from each other. And Doak, like you mentioned, Gannon-Doak, he's got a great opportunity and is someone with a lot of pace and a lot of skill, and this could be a game where he can show and cause some problems down the right-hand side.
Yeah, Nathan Patterson with the throw. Aaron Hickey was the first choice in the opening match, but injury has ruled him out since then. Patterson on the bench or injured for much of the season with Everton. Again sent it away to the far side. Here's Robertson forward. A bit of pressure on Gabriel. It's Gannon Doku gone into the middle there. Leading the line, Lawrence Shankland, the harder Midlothian striker. In it goes towards McTominay. Marquinhos is there for Brazil. Referee happy for the game to continue at the moment. Scotland looking around and saying, well, it's a head injury, so maybe you might want to take a look at it.
Yeah, those folks, I think it is there. It gets a knock on the head, coming together, both going for the ball. You can see it. It's just coming together. I'm not quite sure if it's his body or maybe just a glancing arm. I think you should be okay. It was a pretty heavy challenge though.
Yeah, Ryan, the player involved from Brazil, the 19-year-old, only made his debut in March against Croatia. He replaced Rafinha when he was injured after 40 minutes of the last match. David Beckham here. Of course, it's effectively his home city these days with his involvement with Inter Miami. It's very much a hot World Cup ticket. I think Miami today for this one. This is Ryan. Looking to put the ball away from the close attention of Shankland, and now it's collected here by Douglas Santos. Vinny Jr. into Paqueta. Started all of their games so far and been replaced just after the hour mark in the opening two. Robertson into McGinn. Scotland, the side that Brazil have faced the most without ever losing to, alongside Austria. That's 10 matches in total, while 10 matches is the most that Scotland have played against anyone without winning. Certain symmetry to that. Here's McLean, one of those coming into the team today.
It's been a bright start so far for Scotland. Low possession, probably more than maybe they would have. A couple of real moments forward. There's a good ball in the box. You see McTominay was very, very close to the owner. Marquinhos timed it perfectly. They're not afraid to get numbers forward. You see it with the more attacking sort of formation they started with.
Tracking back into Patterson. A little bit of space here in the middle of the park, but Lewis Ferguson, who plays his football with Bologna in Italy. Robertson having a little look. Debating whether to take on Danilo on the far side. Scott McKenna coming in alongside Hendry today for this one. Here's Robertson. And suddenly it's on a plate for Bruno Guimaraes. Brazil venture forward for the first time and probably again.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, captain. That ball. Robertson obviously making a run down the left-hand side. That ball wasn't reaching. It gets cut out really early, like it was on that occasion. He's caught out of position. This time he got back really well, put enough pressure on the ball, and he was able to gather it very comfortably.
McTominay beaten to it by Casemiro. Casemiro is going to be playing this football in this city as well. He'll be playing for Inter Miami following the conclusion of his time with United. Here's Gabriel. Luis Enrique still saves for big occasions these days. Champions League, yes again. Legal, not so much.
Oh, it's very standard. A lot of games tonight with a very, very experienced defender. So you want to be careful with it. You want to manage it.
Scotland happy to sit back. Casemiro and Gabriel. Douglas Santos. Vinicius Jr. just ahead of him on the near side. Gets up, it's back back in Brazil now, having moved from West Ham during the winter transfer window, back with Flamengo, where it all started for him as Vini Jr. picks out Casemiro, who senses a chance. Big block made by Shacklin.
Really important block as well, because he hit it with some pace. It was headed directly towards the goal. I think Scotland, the way that the game is you expect Brazil to push forward.
This is the table as it stands in real time. From Scotland's point of view, were they to finish third, they'll have to wait to see whether it's enough. But 4 points, one would think. They'd be very unlucky not to go through with 4. Oh, and a little bit of an error there. And Vinicius Jr. couldn't miss. Scotland have gifted Brazil the opening goal of the match, and it hasn't taken long. Vinicius Jr. scoring for the 3rd game in a row at the World Cup. He joins Jairzinho, Romario, Ronaldo and Rivaldo as the only Brazilians ever to do it, and it was an absolute gift there from Scott McKenna.
Oh, just a lacking of concentration, just a moment switching off, taking too long on the ball, and all the time in the world initially he was just looking to try and put some pressure on the ball, force it out one way. I don't think you can believe his luck. And of course, when Vinicius Jr. gets in that sort of area, he's going to make no mistake whatsoever. You see McKenna, he opens up, he looks to try and play it long and takes that big touch. And Vinicius Jr. is ready to pounce. That's a simple tap in.
Well, they conceded early against Morocco, and they've done the same thing here. It's a gift for Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, Ryan does really well. He's the one that closes down McKenna, makes the block. That ball just falls so kindly to Vinicius Jr. He makes absolutely no mistake. Still has a little bit to do to beat the goalkeeper.
Early to the full result. There we are with the heading. First effort on top of the match in the early stages of the game, and it's into the back of the net. Encounters at the World Cup between Brazil and Scotland over the years have turned out to be close ones. It was still nearly Brazil won 4-1 in '82. That was, I think, because David Neri put Scotland ahead and rather irritated Brazil, who it was quite a good team they had in '82. Italy in '90 and 2-1 in the last meeting. Then Saint-Denis in France in '98.
It's just not the way you want to start the game against the likes of Brazil. Again, you know the point pretty much assure you through the knockout stages. Go and make a mistake like that, it can happen. The only thing I'd say is it's so early in the game. They've got to refocus, and there's a lot to play for still.
Other than that, Scotland have made a steady start.
They have. It's just a moment of lapsing concentration, and they've been absolutely punished in the worst possible way.
Goes against Bendo. The 3rd group game, the last ever Scotland have had on target at the World Cup was the goal scorer. John McGinn in the first game against Haiti.
I think the reason why Steve Clarke has played a slightly more offensive-oriented side, he wants players on there that can try and hurt Brazil. But they'll have to keep possession of the ball and not make mistakes in the back like they've just done now to have any chance.
Henry with collected by McGinn, who turns away from Marquinhos. Support here from Robertson. Shankton in the box. McTominay well forward as well. Here's Ferguson. Now McKenna. Kenny McLean forward. Connected by Jack Hendry. Decent looking ball in, and McTominay was teeing that one up.
Yeah, he's going to be the real big threat, isn't he, against Brazil in that box. He's obviously very, very good in the air.
Look at the space here for Mateus Cunha. Vinicius Jr. makes the run ahead of him. He's not the only one here. That was Bruno Guimaraes. Robertson with the opportunity to clear. here's something of a surprise. Haiti are beating Morocco by a goal to nil. Joseph with the goal. 10 minutes gone in that one.
Yeah, that is definitely a surprise. So there's so much still that can happen in this group alone. So Scotland just got to try and refocus. And for Brazil, it's onward and upwards.
Bit of space here. Matthias Cunha looking to add to the 2 goals that he's already scored. FIFA President Gianni Infantino wasn't about to miss this one. You can see Kaká, Christo Stoichkov, Pepe, Christian Carambou, Ronaldo. Just some of the names there in the VIP area.
It's the who's who of world football.
Yeah. It's a decent five-a-side team right there.
Very good, very good. I'd take it straight away. That's my team.
Confirmation of the Haiti goal, 1-0 up against Morocco in the other match in this group. And now, Ben Gannon-Doak chasing hard, beaten to it by Gabriel, brilliantly timed by the Brazilian defender.
Yeah, had to be absolutely spot on with that challenge. It looked like it was so effortless for him, but that timing was perfect.
Cunha. A little bit loose there from Vinny Jr., got away with it. Marquinhos able to kill it. This is the table in real time. Here's Gabriel. Goal from Vinny Jr., making him the first Brazilian to score in all 3 group games since 2002. 2 players did it in Japan and Korea. That was Ronaldo and Rivaldo. And, certainly Ronaldo is in the crowd today. We've seen him looking on.
Yeah, it's a great challenge, isn't it? You see Gabriel coming over. Gannon-Doak gets the first touch, and Gabriel had to be absolutely spot on with that challenge, and he was.
He was left behind at their training camp for the first couple of games, working on his rehabilitation from injury, but able to be involved today for the first time in the tournament. Right calf injury, which he picked up in the middle of May. I wonder if we'll see him today. Hasn't played for the national team since October of 2023. Junior, tidied up by Nathan Patterson. Dunn tries to find Shankland, easily cut out by Casemiro.
That's what's going to be really important for Scotland, to try and find Shankland, find those out, whether it's John McGinn making runs up, Gannon-Doak. They've got to find that out ball and they'll retain possession, otherwise it's just going to keep coming back like we're seeing now.
Danilo sending it in, and off the boot of Casemiro, it's a little bit deep this time. It'll be a goal kick for Angus Gunn. What's it like for him, Angus Gunn, Scotland's goalkeeper? I mean, he only conceded 1 goal in the opening couple of matches, but he'd only played 45 minutes all season in the Premier League.
Yeah,
not been playing at all.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is. It's really tough when you when you don't have that game time. And that's that goal there again. Lamb does so well. The block, the charge down. Behind it, probably hits him as Angus Gunn tries to close down. Again, he's got real composure and real class and just slots it into that empty net. Brazil can't believe their luck.
Patterson. Gannon-Doak, who made the move from Liverpool to Bournemouth last summer, didn't start a game in the Premier League this season. Had some injury issues along the way. Here's Jack Hendry, who's based in the Saudi Pro League with Al-Ettifaq. Scotland enjoying a decent share of the match early on. Other than the defensive mistake, not too much in it.
Yeah, they've just got to get control of the ball a bit more in that final third. A little bit loose at the moment. It's too easy for Brazil to mop up. So if they're going to have any opportunity in these games, they've got to create them, got to get on the ball, keep possession, close down Brazil, certainly these moments where they're higher up the park.
He's just won the Premier League with Arsenal. Marquinhos, who, along with his Paris Saint-Germain teammates, got the better of him in the Champions League final. Marquinhos actually the first to go across and console Gabriel after he missed the decisive penalty in the shootout that night. Casemiro. Here's Douglas Santos. Brazil, as you'd expect, looking confident and comfortable in possession of the ball here. Last time they conceded first at the World Cup and came back to win the game was the match against the Netherlands at Argentina in 1978. 3-2 they won that day. But here come Brazil, looking to add to their early lead. Douglas Santos back into Vinicius Jr. Up against Patterson, good defender.
Yeah, Patterson does really well. Doesn't dive in, he knows Vinicius Jr. wants to try and entice him to make that challenge, possibly get the timing right on this occasion. Patterson does really well, gets there very easily, makes the decisive challenge.
Referee Cesar Ramos. Put his eye on Gabriel. At the corner. It's McGinn gone to ground inside the penalty area. Big hurry there from Lucas Paqueta. Maybe the chance for Scotland to break. Here's Ben Gannon-Doak away to McGinn. Brazil with the opportunity to regroup and get back behind the ball. Gannon-Doak's done well. Look at the space there for McTominay. Scotland trying to get onto the front foot, but that was really good play from Cunha. And now the chance to break, and Ryan sending it to Vinicius Jr. Ryan's in the middle, and Vinicius Jr. wanted it for himself.
Yeah, there are the moments under. You see there, McTominay's in a good position. If you take too long on the ball, you're going to get punished.
There's Rivaldo on the right-hand side of your picture alongside Roberto Carlos. All great names from Brazil's past. I am in some discomfort at the moment. But Scotland very quickly there, Mark, found themselves in what was a potentially promising position, completely on the back foot at the other end of the field.
Yeah, it's one of the most dangerous parts of the game. When you're in transition, you're looking to get on the front foot to attack, you're getting numbers forward, and you lose possession in that kind of midway point, like Scott McTominay did then. Just took too long on the ball. Brazil were able to smother him. And you see Cunha was very, very quick and very good at dispossessing the ball. That all of a sudden turns that defensive moment into an attack.
Paqueta for Brazil. Minutes in, the early goal from Vinicius Jr. after a defensive error from Scott McKenna. The difference between the two sides. Brazil with 5 attempts on goal, but the goal only one on target so far. Almost a quarter of the way through the game. Nicely done, Vinicius Jr. Yellow shirts piling forward here, but Jack Hendry was there.
There's going to be moments in the game where Scotland are going to have to defend for their lives, are going to have to try and just get plays in the box, trying to smother the ball, trying to close up those gaps, just preventing Brazil having those movements in the box.
South American opposition has been quite the obstacle for Scotland historically in the World Cup. 2 draws and 6 defeats against teams from that continent over the years. Here's Hendry. Very humid in Miami. He's used to playing in the heat, but he's given it away. And Vinny Jr.'s there to make it 2. It's his second horrendous mistake. And Vinicius Jr. cannot believe his luck tonight. A mistake from each of the 2 central defenders for Scotland, and Brazil have a 2-goal lead midway through the first half.
It's the worst possible start for Scotland. 2 big mistakes from the 2 centre-halves. Like you said, it's just absolutely punished them. You can't afford to try and play out of the back like that, dribble the ball out straight into one of the best players in the world, and Vinicius Jr. simply did just then against Jack Hendry. Unfortunately for him, they've just been punished once again.
Hendry there, just caught in possession, and Jr. was just a little bit too quick for him.
I mean, it's switching off. You're dribbling the ball out, you're running in the pitch, you're turning, and it's just too slow, too relaxed. You're in a very, very difficult area, very high pressure movement. With a line of defence, you can't afford to take your eye off it. Got to keep the tempo going, and on both occasions, Scotland have just been brutally punished.
He's up to 4 goals now in this World Cup.
Yeah, I can see that possibly be ruled out this. He's going to be a very, very lucky man, Jack Hendry, if this actually gets ruled out. A huge sigh of relief if this were to be ruled out.
Well, if it is ruled out, it will be a mighty reprieve for Scotland. We're about to find out.
Cancel the goal is final decision.
Yeah, he's given a free kick to Scotland. Jack Hendry.